Metro Manila, one of the world's most densely populated cities, is home to 13 million people. It is rated the world's worst city to drive in, according to Waze. A culture of third-wave coffee connoisseurship is growing. However, the majority of coffee is imported from places like Nicaragua, Ethiopia, or Colombia. Some coffee houses are beginning to forge the way by focusing on serving local Philippine coffee. In the remote reaches of the Cordillera mountain range, cultural traditions flourish. To be an Igorot is to be proud of one's heritage. Part of that heritage is growing and drinking coffee. Coffee has been grown in the Cordillera for centuries. Its past is steeped in colonial legacy, both Spanish and American. Coffee was introduced by the Spanish in the late 19th century and was a point of contention. Locals resisted its imposition on them at first and protested their forced production. By 1890, the Philippines was the world's fourth largest producer of coffee. Philippine coffee was being sold around the world, like here at Seattle's Pike Place Market in 1909. Coffee seedlings spread throughout various communities through marriage and other social interchanges between people from different villages. Coffee Arabica was planted in the backyards of many households and became popular.
We have inherited some century-old typical coffee. It's the ordinance of the Sagada. All new couples, if they want to get a marriage license, they must have planted 5 trees.
Well, I started to grow coffee. That was 1999. Early in the morning, sometimes my mother did not cook some vegetables. The easiest is to cook coffee and then put a little sugar and with the rice only. That's the easiest before he goes to say this Carabao to the farm.
All of this that you can see, this used to be coffee. But then the Department of Agriculture wanted to rejuvenate it. Instead, they massacred our coffee. A thriving consumer culture is reviving the heirloom coffee. Local coffee production is proudly advertised, and even the bigger chains, like Seattle's Best, have caught on, and other coffee companies are exporting abroad again. Rich Watanabe's mission is to revive the heritage of Philippine coffee.
My first trip was really something of a profound experience when I was able to put a face to the commodity. And eventually, one particular problem that I saw cropping up as I was dealing with them was the lack of a second generation to farm coffees. And that led me to more questions. But why aren't they working in the coffees? Isn't it a gainful experience for them? And why do they prefer working in offices? So all those questions, they added up, and we formed an advocacy for coffee. And the Coffee Heritage Project encapsulates all of what we'd like to see. So Coffee Heritage for me means a celebration of diversity. It's a celebration of how different we are. It's a celebration of our cultures. Different coffees from different origins produce different flavor.
They say it takes 2,000 hours from when the beans are planted to when it is harvested, processed, roasted. By the time your mug is filled, 40 pairs of hands have touched it. Part of Coffee Heritage Project's advocacy is bringing volunteers from the city to the farms to experience the planting of coffee.
Before the Coffee Heritage Project or before the experience with a coffee farmer, for me coffee is just something that you control. You know, being side by side with actual farmers really made a difference because you can see it in their eyes that they have a passion really in planting coffees. The whole experience of the coffee planting really gave a different meaning whenever I sip my coffee.
To be honest, I did not know much about Sagada coffee. I've never tried it before. I always enjoyed a good cup of coffee, but I think more than anything, it raised my interest and awareness in our local beans. Try it and you'll enjoy it, and you consume it. It's just really good. I think if people interact and are more aware, it becomes an experience.
What I wish to leave with coffee consumers is an image of a coffee farmer that goes with their coffee cup to humanize coffee.
Heritage is a sum of who and what we are. More than 50% of the time, more than 80% of Filipinos in the morning will drink coffee. That's why it's heritage.
Heirloom coffee is making a name for itself in the Philippines and abroad.
Being aware that it's recognized worldwide because of its flavor makes me proud of being a part of that. We're actually growing coffee babies.
Rosario Juan was the first to serve solely Philippine coffee at Commune. She was asked in an interview, "What's your case for Philippine coffee?" Now there are so many independent coffee houses serving local coffee that in an interview in 2017, she was asked, "How do you differentiate?" The Giving Cafe has launched 5 social impact initiatives for its partner farmers in Benguet.
We're done with the instant. We're done with Starbucks revolution. Now people are becoming more aware. We're going into this next generation of people who are empowered to actually help the people. It's like this is the seed. Third wave is the seed to go back to the roots.
This time around, what I'd like to see more is a movement of what I call a cup to farm movement, bringing people to the farm and understanding how coffee and coffee origins work. Hopefully that will bring us with more and better coffees to taste for generations to come.